I was on a space today with some Cosmos community members, Rack FM, you know the space, and we were talking about the pros and cons, I guess, of Cosmos's original vision, and I made it clear that I'm completely bearish on the execution that I've been seeing the last 2 years. It's almost pointless to buy and stake tokens in the Cosmos ecosystem, despite some people making the case that a lot of tokens look like they're bottomed out. I just feel that there's too much opportunity elsewhere. And the fact that I don't see many positives to kind of point to and say, yes, this is going to be the reason why Cosmos turns around. I'm pretty bearish on the overall situation, at least for this current cycle. I'm going to talk about those things as well as highlight some bright spots where I do see some opportunities in the Cosmos ecosystem. Remember, this was the Cosmos DeFi channel. I used to have a spaceship back there. Now I'm, just living large outside of the Cosmos ecosystem. I got this Manhattan penthouse here. You can see it's a cloudy day. It's snowing, raining over here. But we're going to talk about those things here on the KPOD network. Welcome, everybody, to the KPOD network, where myself and the other creators on the channel give you crypto the way we see it, the way we call it, the way retail perceives all of this Wild West, high-tech, bleeding edge stuff out there in the crypto space, trying to make it make sense. And man, the Cosmos ecosystem really doesn't make sense from a retail point of view outside of a few bright spots. Like I said, I'll touch on those, but I want to kind of give a state of the union, a state of the ecosystem from where I sit. Number one, let's start with the tokens. We know that the tokens are down everywhere. Atom underperforming, OSMO getting slaughtered. Some tokens, it looks like there's just no hope whatsoever. Even some of the good projects that have tokens, the tokens are underperforming. I'm talking Neutron, I'm talking Stargaze. You could look all over the ecosystem. In Cosmos, we can't even get a meme token to pump to 10 million market cap. Like, there's some serious issues here when it comes to token prices, and let's not pretend the token prices aren't important. Most of my portfolio involved tokens outside the ecosystem, and I'm doing quite well. It's a bull market, and not that you would notice it if you were only in Cosmos, but how else can I afford this Manhattan office here, this Manhattan studio? And you can see it's a little cloudy today, but I was in a basement when I was doing my Cosmos content, and man, there's such a divergence here between tokens participating in the bull market and tokens that are behaving as if we're still in the bear market. We are not. The prices are a huge concern, an absolute huge concern. Number two, we've got founders that have gone almost silent or just kind of tweeting things out there in desperation. L1s are barely putting out any content. I used to look on X, and yeah, there's a lot to compete with, I give you that, but there would be graphics, infographics, there would be threads, there would be external links to articles and blog posts, there would be governance talk on X. I don't see any of it. And yeah, you could blame the community for looking elsewhere. There was a lot going on Solana, a lot going on Base and Arbitrum and whatnot. But where's the founder activity? I see Discords going dark. I see Telegrams overrun with bots with almost no important information being disseminated from teams. And I see Twitter accounts, X accounts, just dry. Like, what is going on? I already mentioned the low transaction volume, and that kind of relates to TVL. We're seeing Osmosis, the liquidity hub, get absolutely slaughtered by every metric imaginable. Yes, they did rework some of their tokenomics. Yes, they are collecting fees, but there's a limit to how many fees you could have on any platform, any business, before the customers start looking elsewhere. In Cosmos, and especially Osmosis, because that's really, really the liquidity hub, we need more users, and we're getting less. It's really unbelievable to watch ecosystems like Tron doing so well, right? It's really uncanny, especially since we're supposed to have the best tech over here. Well, great tech is not translating clearly into token performance or enthusiasm or attention on any of the apps. I mean, maybe Cosmos lost its edge, right? The edge was IBC, interoperability. Well, bridges are a dime a dozen now, and there hasn't been a major exploit recently that I've noticed. We've got routers, we've got bridges galore. It's becoming second nature for intermediate and experienced DeFi users to jump from chain to chain. A lot of wallets are integrating this, I'm noticing. And it used to be that the Cosmos focused wallets were ahead of the game, and they're really not anymore. Others have caught up and actually offer a better user experience than the Keplers and the Leaps out there, which used to be head and shoulders above the rest. So with these competing bridges and all these easy to use routers, IBC is just not that special. Airdrops used to be awesome. You would anticipate these airdrops. You would stake the tokens as soon as you got them, or maybe sell some, LP some. It used to generate a buzz. There's been a series of completely botched airdrops between the geo-blocking and the need to download special wallets, or maybe some projects not airdropping to LPers or Atom stakers at all. And this just takes away a lot of the attention and the vibes of the entire ecosystem. And there's nothing that the hub can do, right? There's nothing that says if you use the Cosmos SDK to build a blockchain, you have to, kick back a percent to the Atom stakers or to the Atom and OSMO LPers. There's nothing like that. So there's nothing stopping 100 new airdrops from happening and these guys distancing themselves from the hub the way Berachain did, right? And most notably, what seems to be happening is the app chain thesis may be dead, right? And it still sounds good, right? Every application, launch your own chain. This really decentralizes things because you have sovereignty. You have individual teams with their own validator sets doing governance and, tinkering with the Cosmos SDK, different block times, different voting parameters, different community pool stuff going on, different permissions. And to me, the app chain thesis sounds the best for decentralization, but in practice, it just hasn't really been working. And finally, we've got Cosmos co-founders who rage quit and now build competing products to the hub. We've got the ICF Informal, who never really followed through with anything to develop the Atom Economic Zone. It just looks really bad out there, especially if you've been following developments for the last 2 to 3 years, while also keeping an eye on everything happening with Solana and ETH Layer 2s and Magic Eden and all these other killer use cases that are satisfying the demand that's out there. Now let's talk about me for a second, just so you know where I stand. I'm not staking any Atom. I'm not staking any Osmo. I'm not supplying liquidity on Osmosis. I am supplying some liquidity on Neutron. I unstaked all my Atom to participate in the drop money campaign. I'm pretty happy with the way that's going. I'll participate in round 2, but I'm not getting involved deeply in any of these core Cosmos projects because there's so much opportunity out there. Now, I have a ton of NFTs on Omniflix. I have a ton of NFTs on Stars. I am a big holder in Jackal, right? It's like number 3 in my portfolio, something like that. I'm bullish on DPIN, totally bullish on DPIN. I also am bullish on some of the apps within Cosmos. I just think that they're surrounded by such a bad situation. They're really going to struggle. And that includes Nolus, that includes Astrovault, and there are a couple others here and there. Overall, I think Cosmos assets are probably less than 10% of my portfolio, maybe even less than 5% with the price activity that we're seeing. So I laid out like a grim state of the ecosystem. I get it. What should happen? Well, number one, there needs to be a lot more coordination and cooperation and collaboration across the ecosystem. This is something that I complained about really since I came in. I said, we have all these partnerships that don't really seem like partnerships. It seems like one chain is just trying to steal users and liquidity from another. I don't see that much meaningful collaboration across Cosmos. And when you have IBC, you would think that they would be incentivized to do so I just don't see it. Maybe it exists and I'm not putting enough stock into it. Where is the collaboration? Where are two teams going to get together, maybe even merge and build something together, or build in a way that both of their projects benefit in a tangible way? So I would like to see a lot more collaboration, and we are starting to see a little bit of it with the rumors of Stargaze merging with the Cosmos Hub. And that brings me to my next area of opportunity. The Cosmos Hub. What is it? Is it a security chain? It's not securing all that much. What, a couple million in TVL on Neutron? And that's about it. It's not securing Noble, right? That was originally the plan. Stride looks like a mess. It's really the quintessential cross-chain app, and the token is just getting absolutely slaughtered. They just keep airdropping and devaluing their own token is what it looks like to me. What is the hub? Is it the center of the ecosystem? If someone's looking at Cosmos that has no idea about the origin of how it was all put together, they're not going to say Cosmos is the center of the ecosystem. They would probably say Celestia or Osmosis or one of the newer chains that seems to have more hype around it. Should Cosmos just give up this neutrality BS and give up on ICS and just have smart contracts? So the rumors of Stargaze coming to the hub would mean either Stargaze becomes a consumer chain and takes part in interchain security using Atom as its security instead of its own validator set, giving up its sovereignty. Maybe that would be good for Stargaze. Maybe that would be good for the hub. Or that means the hub allowing smart contracts finally, and you would have Stargaze and all of the associated apps that drive volume to the launch pad in the marketplace actually being dropped right on the Cosmos hub. And I think from a UI UX point of view, maybe I don't know about the technical challenges, I think this is actually good. Stargaze has organic community that they've built over the years. They have one of the few chains that has very good relations with their community. They will be shedding the cost of that validator set, which is fine by me. What becomes of their token, I don't know, but they would have to find some integration with the Atom token, I'm guessing, and go from there. So that's one opportunity that I think should continue to be explored and worked out. I know the Skip team is over at the ICF now, and they seem to be spearheading this as we speak. Number two, I think we need a complete consolidation with teams collapsing down onto fewer and fewer chains, working on fewer and fewer apps. So you have more people working on fewer apps. That means faster development. That means maybe better collaboration and coordination. And maybe, just maybe, they build something better than what's been built already. Does that mean some chains have to die? Yes, we've already seen it. And guess what? No one misses any of those chains, whether it's Crescent or the dog one with the 3 heads or whatever. These chains, it was a good shot. You guys did what you had to do. You launched a chain, was a great idea. You were able to fund it either through VCs or community getting suckered into buying your token. It's over for the most part. I don't think these individual chains who were unable really to onboard their own communities, they were just kind of taking what the ecosystem already had. I don't think they're viable. So why not just collapse down onto fewer and fewer chains? It doesn't mean the hub necessarily, but I would like to see it around the hub and with the Atom token directly in the center. That means interchain security. Is it worth doubling and tripling down on ICS at this point? Let's think about it. We've got Neutron, right, which can act as the app hub for Cosmos. So if you decide that Cosmos should not have smart contracts, you got Neutron right there. Neutron's token, for me, complicates things a little bit, but I remember asking one of the founders, said, does a token actually need to exist? And he told the token had to exist, otherwise there would be no Neutron, which maybe to me means something about VCs not investing in any crypto project without a token, right? That's probably what it means. So double down on interchain security, maybe, but what value or what benefit do these consumer chains deliver back to the Cosmos hub, right? Do they buy back and burn Atom? Do they pay stakers and stable coins, or at least some token that's valuable with some liquidity behind it? I don't know. But there has to be some reason to buy a token. I don't see why anyone would buy and stake Atom or buy an LP Atom right now in the current market. Let's look at Osmosis. I think Osmosis is going to come to a moment of truth, and they're going to go through a thirdening or a halvening in a couple of months, which means their inflation is going to get cut. Well, a lot of their development depends on inflation, and we've seen things on Twitter. The hub is going to buy out Osmo. Why? Why should they pay for Osmo? Osmo is open source, right? Just build a DEX on the hub and have some kind of vampire attack or incentives for that liquidity to migrate over. I think Osmosis is a competitor to the hub. I think the hub and Osmosis are competitors, all right? If they don't view themselves that way, I haven't seen any meaningful collaboration between the entities that are behind the hub and the entities that are behind Osmosis. Have you? I haven't seen anything. So I think they should be treated as friendly competition at the very least. And we've heard Sonny say on my YouTube channel that he's a big fan of vampire attacks. The Cosmos hub has the resources to vampire attack all the DEXs in the Cosmos and build their own fantastic DEX. Maybe they use code from Osmosis. Maybe they hire some of the Osmosis team to develop further. I don't know, but that is an option. And if you don't think that's an option, I think that you're really not getting the big picture here, that crypto is a business. It's not just projects out there with a runway. And then when the runway ends, everyone just does everything for free. These are businesses. And right now, the Cosmos Hub is a struggling business, but so is Osmosis, and so are all the other chains situated in Cosmos. So more activity around the hub, specifically on Neutron. Look, they've got a competitor to Stride in Drop.money that's backed by Lido, if I'm not mistaken. They've got the Cosm-Wasm connection. Anyone can really just migrate apps over to Neutron. We've seen Nolus do it. We've seen Mars do it. We've seen Astrovault do it. All right? It's possible. So to make Neutron the de facto application hub for Cosmos, I think that's a good start. Finally, the tokens. Let's talk about the tokens. They all need help, right? We're in a bull market. Are any Cosmos tokens performing? I mean, TIA, all those unlocks, the insiders farming the hell out of it. You're going to be able to get that token at a huge discount if you're just patient. We already know what happened to Juno. I already said Stars token is down, even though the marketplace is great and the team is very committed. The community is actually strong, but the token is suffering. Every token needs a solution, and there is no token that needs to be solved more than Osmo. And I think, even though I just said the hub and Osmosis, they're competitors, okay? There needs to be some collaboration across the ecosystem to do something for the Osmo token, because it's tied to the prices of all the others. So if this means different founding teams pick a side, right? We got, let's say, Shade Protocol picks the hub, and then Omniflix picks Osmosis, whatever the case might be, something needs to happen, because in the end, if the token doesn't perform, these ecosystems just simply won't work. So there's my video rant. Yeah, pretty bearish, at least for the short to medium term. I see no reason to buy Cosmos ecosystem assets right now, even though they look like they're at a bottom. There's too much going on, right? There's AI agents. There's still meme tokens happening. There's Bitcoin and all the development happening in and around Bitcoin, the L2s and all that. Cosmos, they just went, the bull market went this way and Cosmos went this way. It's a shame, but what are you going to do? Maybe we'll check back in Q2 and things will be on the up and up. That would be great. I would love for my Jackal tokens to pump. Would love for my Astrovault tokens to pump. And I would love some of this collaboration, consolidation in the Cosmos ecosystem, maybe to make Atom great again.